everyone, it's me, Jenna. I'm back for another crafting update video. I hope everyone had a good December and Happy New Year. My cat decided to walk in front of me. If you're new here, this is my channel where I share about my knitting, my crafting, my quilting, my crochet, anything that I've been working on, mainly my cross stitch. Sorry. Yeah, that's about it. And if you're returning, welcome back. I think I said I hope everyone had a good December. If you celebrated the holidays, I hope you had a good holiday time, and Happy New Year to everyone. And I'm excited for all of my crafting this year. I really am. A little bit of a life update. On my last video, I remember saying that I was not feeling well and I was really sick, and I ended up having pneumonia, which was horrible. So during that video, I actively had pneumonia, which is really crazy. I've never had that before in my life, and that actually kind of really freaked me out because I feel like I've had COVID twice or whatever by now, but that was something I've never had before, and it was a different kind of sick that felt more intense than other colds and respiratory stuff that I've experienced before. So that was really bad. My December was just full of being sick and not being well, and I'm a bit better now, but unfortunately, the fun stuff is making its rounds again in my household. So hopefully my boyfriend continues to feel better. He tested positive last week, and so he should be clear now. Anywho, other than that, other than health, I'm okay. I have a lot to update though because I was sick and the holiday time and family time, and I haven't really had much time to sit and record a video, and I've been doing a lot of crafting, and I fell behind with a lot of stuff that I wanted to keep it in short updates. This little friend has just been missing me. I did go away for part of December, and that always makes it hard for my cat. But yeah, I really wanted to always keep my updates really short and sweet, but this one might be a little bit longer because what should have been 2.5 updates is now going to all be in one update for me. Unfortunately, I don't have 2 of the finishes that I had this round because one was gifted away and one is in the wash. So I finished my niece's sweater that I was working on from Tin Can Knits. That was, the pattern was, let me see if I can remember it right now. For some reason, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it. Spotlight. I think it was called Spotlight Sweater by Tin Can Knits. I'll try to insert a picture if I can. The software I've been using to edit isn't the best. But if I can, I will. If not, it's on my Instagram. And then I did also finish my Thanksgiving socks for my boyfriend, but he wore them already, and so they're in the wash, and so maybe I'll show them next time. This is just my little cuddle bug. I know. I love her so much. She's going to be 14. 14 this year, my little baby. I know you just want to be in the video. That's okay. So I do have a lot to show. So I think I'll start with my cross stitching. I have some new starts. I also have my birthday start to show because from my notes it looks like I didn't share my birthday start yet, which was in November. I do have a finish that I can show, just the ends are not woven in. And yeah, so I have about 2 new starts to share. So I have to get started. I know. Okay, so I'll start with my cross stitching, I guess, and I'll just grab them as I have them here. I just realized I didn't bring the bigger chart for this one. Please don't knock over my camera, cat. Oh no, she did knock me over. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try to fix it. Oh boy. Okay, it didn't pause, which is good. She is just so cuddly. Okay, hopefully I'm still in focus. Be nice. Okay. Sorry, maybe I'll try to edit it out, but I think I also blurred the lens trying to stop it from falling. I didn't bring the bigger picture because I always have to forget something, but this is my Fall Cottage by Alma Lynn Hayden. It's in this Herkshner's book, and it has these 4 seasonal cottages, and this is the fall one. So I think last time you saw it, I had just finished up this side here with all the back stitching, and I've moved into working on this other window and the other door here. So these projects I try to work on in the season that I'm in. And so since we were in fall, during part of December, technically, I was still working on this one. So now I'm done. And I have pulled out my winter one, but I'll show that one in my next video to kind of space them out. So this is on a 14 count, 3/1 with, I dyed this fabric myself. So there it goes. That's my fall cottage. And I really do like those pieces. They make me think about the season, which is really nice. Another piece that I worked on, and this came from my wheel that I'm trying to give all of my whips at least 5 hours of work, so I mark them off as I go. So this was another one that came up on my whip wheel. This is a Buttons and Beads from Mill Hill, and this is Moonstruck. So you can see why I bought it. There's a very cute black cat. And I am almost ready for the beading. I've never done beading before, so I'm a little nervous. And I'm almost ready for the beads. So this is where I am. And when I worked on this project, I realized that when I went to update on my Instagram about it, I realized that I hadn't worked on it in like 2 years or so. So this is also why I'm really enjoying the current rotation wheel that I'm doing, to just make sure to get around to all my whips because I miss them. So I did the majority of this house, and then I think I also filled in a lot more black and finished up some of the purple and pinks on this side. I also just realized, because when you get some of these kits, you can't really, oh, here, they come like with all the threads like this, and they're not pre-sorted. And for me, like, so many of the colors would be like light magenta, dark pink, purple, light purple for you to sort out. And for me, that's really hard for me to differentiate, well, what counts as dark magenta, what's magenta, what's like that's super hard for me. And then I finally realized that they actually provide for you on the chart. I don't know if they are DMC threads, but they're DMC colors. So it'll say, so for example, sorry, I was painting with the children today. So if I have blue nails, it's because I was painting with my class. So here, for example, it says medium burgundy. And then there's like another one that's like dark burgundy or burgundy. And I was having a hard time sorting that. But then I realized there is a DMC number. And I have the really awesome DMC card that has the actual flosses on it. And so that really helped me recently to just match the colors, which I wasn't able to realize before, and I'm almost done with the piece. But at least I have more Mill Hills, and now I'll know for when I need to sort the colors. So that's where I am on my Buttons and Beads Moonstruck. I always say Moonlit Kitties for this one, but it's Moonstruck. I always confuse that one with another chart. So that's my progress on that. And then I also worked on this is my Christmas sampler, Christmas Eve sampler by Joan Elliott. And I am working this project on a, is that right? Oops. Oh no, I lost the magnet on my needle minder. It'll fall into the bag. Ooh, there it goes. This is on a 32 count Lugana in the colorway Atlantis, and I am going, sorry cat, you can't have that, 2/1. And so I think last time when I was working on this, I had just finished the mouse and the Christmas tree and some of this curtain stuff, and I did this bigger snowflake and this Christmas tree here. So that's where I am. Oh, and I added 2 more reindeer. I forgot. I moved up here and added 2 more reindeer. So I did finish one whole page, and I moved on to the other page. So that's where I am. It's going to be pretty big. The fabric is bigger than needed, but it'll still be a pretty big piece. So that's my Christmas Eve sampler, which I really do love. I always thought that like monochromatic pieces would be super easy to work on, but they actually get my eyes like kind of tripped up after a while. It's really crazy. I also am like realizing how like crazy I look today. My hair really needs a good washing. Oh no, I lost the magnet again to my needle minder. Okay, I fixed that. Then I worked on trying to do my starts later. Then I worked on my Nesteros piece. So this is like Nesteros or a Game of Mushroom Kingdoms. And this is on my BAP rotation wheel. So I give all of my really super duper big projects a focus of 20 hours when they come up on my wheel. So I had a 20-hour rotation on this, and because of being sick and traveling and stuff like that, I didn't get to update in the middle of it. So I only have to show what I got to after my full 20 hours. And this is a piece that's based off of the Super Mario World map, and it's done in a Game of Thrones style. So for example, this is the wall, and then this is King's Landing here and the God's Wood. Oh no, not King's Landing, sorry, Winterfell. And then, where is it? Over here is King's Landing. And so it has so many of the places from the Game of Thrones TV show. I think this is by Servotron. It's a free pattern. You can find it on a site, Sprite Stitch, or if you just go on Reddit and Google it. I am stitching this on a 28 count, 2/1 10 stitch on a piece of 28 count Lugana in the colorway Ice Blue. And this is where I am. So it is a massive, massive piece. It is super amazing though. I love it. And I am, let me just fold it a little bit. I worked on finishing Winterfell over here. Adding in the God's Wood and this little thinger, I'm not quite sure what that is. And originally when I was working on this, if you follow me on Instagram, I had forgotten the middle page that was like in between here. So I went away to see my boyfriend's family and I forgot the page that was in between this part. So that's why there's some done over here. And this whole section was empty. And I was kind of worried that I wouldn't find it because the pattern chart that I'm using doesn't match up to the one that's out now. And so I would have had to like really figure out where I was in a new formatted chart, and I just didn't want to think about it because I had printed all the pages in advance of the old chart. And I think it's been updated since then that some of these structures or whatever have changed in the new pattern. So I was really worried about that while I was away, but I just counted and I crossed my fingers and the counting was good, and I also found the missing page, which made me super duper happy. So this is looking really, really good. So that was my Nesteros. I'm gonna leave that one out because I think I want that one to be the thumbnail picture. I think would be really awesome. And then I had a cross-stitching new start for my birthday. So thank you to all my friends who helped me to pick a birthday start. I decided to start for my birthday from Cottage Garden Samplings. I decided to start Have Faith. So this is a matching piece to my mom. My mom has stitched the Have Courage or Courage piece for some personal reasons, and I decided to stitch the Have Faith one, which I really, really like. I'm not doing all the called for weeks in it. I'm really trying to use up some, sorry, my cat's moving again, some of the dinky dyes and color and cotton threads that I have. So I have been matching up as I go as best as I can. And the fabric that I'm using, let me see if I find it for you guys, is this color and cotton in Stratus. I think so. And it's a 32 count, and I'm most likely going 2/1. I mean 2/2. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going 2/2. And this is where I got to. So I think when I started this for my birthday, I think my birthday this year was like on a Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So I took the day off, and this is what I got as a day of stitching on my birthday on my new start. So I do want to put a few more hours into it. I just have to write it down in my book. I just remembered about it, as sad as it is. So I'm going to write it down in my project log to at least put in a few more hours on this one before giving it a little break. So I'm really loving it so far. So yeah, those are some of the coloring cotton, and I think a few dinky dyes in there. I'm not quite sure. So super excited about that one. And I think that's all of my cross stitching. So now I'm going to move into my knitting, and I'll start with a finish. So it is a finish, but the ends are not all woven in yet, and it was supposed to be a gift, and then the person I'm supposed to give it to didn't show up anyway for Christmas, so it ended up not needing to be on such a tight deadline. So I forgot to bring, of course, the pattern paper for this, but this is the Rainbow Tank by Francois. It's a French name. I really struggle. I'm so sorry. Danvoy, and you can find it on Ravelry. And so here it is. I'm trying to lean back as much as I can to show. So this is the top. I'm not quite sure I like how thick this is. I know. It's not for me. My measurements are all right though. Like, this is how much it wanted you to stitch this part for it, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks a little kind of weird. I don't know. That's the bottom part. So yeah, you do have to weave in the ends. I mean, it is in size large, and what I'm thinking is when it's worn, it's gonna stretch a little bit. I don't know. It's not for me, but I did put in a lot of work on it. But now that I'm looking at it after I finished it for a bit, because I did finish this sometime in December, it is looking a little bit kind of off. I'm not quite sure. It is kind of bummer when you finish something and all your measurements are right. Like, my measurements for this band are right, but in the project photo that they use for the little booklet, it does look a little different, and like my project measurements for this part are correct. So I definitely don't think I'm going to take it out, but I will think about it and see. I don't know. I think I'm not quite sure if this will fit me, so I am nervous about trying it on myself and seeing what it looks like before I gift it, but I might have to. I made the size large of the pattern. So there was that. And for that project, I used some of this Yarn Bee yarn in the colorway Burgundy. And then the bottom part, I don't have the little tag anymore, but I think it was also another Yarn Bee color. Do I have it in here? Oh, I do. The middle color was this Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton in Sunroom Sunday. And I used like a ball and a half of that, especially to match up the striping. So it was a self-striping yarn. Man, I'm not quite sure. I also am not quite sure of the colors, but I didn't choose the colors. The person that I made this for chose those colors. So we'll see. Hopefully they like it anyway. If they don't, it's okay. It was an adventure. What else do I have? Oh, I don't know if this is a new start because I think I showed it before. But, so my knit night project, I've been trying to keep just one project for my weekly knit night because if I keep switching projects, I keep forgetting either parts of it or an extra yarn ball or my needles or whatever. So I've just decided that this project until it's done will be my knit night project. So this is This Way and That Shawl by Jennifer Weissman. And I am working this project on one of these Karen Blossom cakes, and the colorway is Blossom. And this is where I am. So I've finished sort of like that top neck part, and now let me see if I can gently stretch a lot of it without it falling off. I'm starting the little I finished actually one of those diagonal bands. These are kind of hard to show because they're stuck on my circular. Let me see if I can get this to straighten out a little bit and show. So it's gonna go one direction, and then after I do like another purl ridge, it's gonna go the other direction. So I'm really liking the color so far. It's really pretty. So that was where I think I was when I last showed it on video, where my progress keeper is. And so it's really grown. It hasn't grown in length, but it's grown, I mean in width, but it's grown a lot in length. If you've worked on shawls before, that's sort of how they grow. It gets longer and longer. At first, it's like, it kind of like teases you, like you're making so much progress until it starts to grow out, and then you really slow down. Like it feels so good at first, but I really do like it. So I'm hoping that this piece will be a piece that I can donate to a future raffle. I think that would be great, because I don't always wear shawls for myself, but I like to make them because I like kind of the artistic journey of them, and I just like making them, but they're not something I might personally wear. All right, and then I have one more whip, and then I have a new start, and then I made it. I think I will skip on my reading portion this video, but I did update on my Instagram. Kind of, my cat really tilted my camera. Sorry guys. I'm just noticing that. Sorry if I'm tilted the entire video. My 2023 book wrap up on my Instagram. I posted it there. And yeah. Sorry, I'm just putting this away because that's all I need now is to forget my the pattern for Knit Night. Everything was nicely in its bag. But I'll update on any books that I finish in my next video, because I haven't had any book finishes for this year yet. And end of last month, I think I only had like one manga finish, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I haven't really finished a book yet that I've been reading, because I've been reading some really dense books lately. So when I have finishes in my books, it'll be probably a whole lot at the same time. So another project that I had to frog, so it was in timeout for quite a bit, was this men's ribbed sweater. That's a bottom-up sweater that was in 4 pieces, and I decided to somehow work it in the round. So here it is, and it is by Blue Sky Alpacas, I think. Sorry. And I'm making this for my boyfriend who's like 6'6", so there's a lot of yarn here. And I'm using this Brava worsted by Knit Picks. And it's in the colorway Asphalt Heather. And so you're going to see I have a lifeline on it. So this is where it was last time I updated. And I got up here, but I had to rip all the way back to where this lifeline is over here. It's kind of hard to see where it is. There's a different color yarn in there, because he needed it to be longer. So, you know, like these sweaters, I guess, are made for like average height people, and he's super tall. So before I started the armholes, I should have put it on him, and I didn't. And then when I had already started one of the armholes, I decided to have him try it on, and it was way too short. So I made it longer, and he likes his sweaters longer anyway. And so I'm almost ready to start the armholes again, but I'm making sure to look at the pattern, because I'm really worried that me not being very experienced and trying to convert this in the round, when I get to some of the more complicated parts like the neck, that I'm not gonna know what to do. But in my head, I'm thinking that I just have to try to work. Like I have to also maybe put different markers to label the front and back. And as I'm working, like think of each part of it as its own piece. So if I'm working the front, I have to follow the directions for the front. And when I get to the back, to just remember I'm working on the back now. So we'll see how it goes. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm not quite sure. I have another marker here, but I'm not quite sure what that's for. But yep. So that's my boyfriend's sweater. And then I had a new start. So I don't know if anyone else on Instagram Reels was getting like these suggestions for this really cute strawberry blanket. And it just kept popping up in my Reels and it looked really cute. So I went on YouTube and I followed the tutorial. Oh, wrong bag. That was there. And decided to start this strawberry blanket. And I'm using some of the best stuff out there. This Red Heart Super Saver for the red. And guess what its friend is? Red Heart Super Saver for the green. Because it's a blanket. I need cheap. And it's for another person that is very tall. So it's going to need a lot of yarn. And the pattern is by Mushy. You can find it if you Google it or on YouTube. M-U-S-H-H-Y, I think. And there's like it's a really kind of interesting way that she has you make the strawberries and the blanket. Something's going on with the end here. I'm trying really not to think about it too much. It does straighten out if I tug on it, so I'm trying not to worry. But she has this really interesting technique where you don't cut off at the end. Like she carries it a certain way and re-loops it, and then you just keep going. So I don't have an end to cut or weave in, which is really good with these kind of blankets that change color every row, because this one does. But it is so, so cute. I have to get back to it. But it's also one of those patterns that I haven't quite yet memorized yet. So while I'm working on it, I have to each row watch the YouTube video to remember what I'm doing. And I kind of like it because it's also like a pop-it blanket. Like, look at that. You can like pop. You could pop the strawberries to the other side. So if you're like me that likes to fidget, like this is like a great blanket. It's like reversible and you can just keep popping the little strawberries. So that's a lot of fun for me. So yeah, I have no ends to tie in yet, which is amazing. And I'm hoping it's long enough for the person that I'm making it for. I'm thinking of it being like a couch, a cozy couch blanket, but I have a long way to go for how tall this person is that I'm thinking of this blanket for. So it's going to be an adventure. I definitely have to get back to it. I should put it on my log to put a few more hours into it. But I also want to work on my temperature blanket this year. I want my temperature blanket from not 2023, but from 2022 to be done this year coming. So I'm definitely putting that on my to work log. And that's it. So with that said, actually, this isn't as long as I thought it was going to be, which makes me really, really happy. I mean, granted, I have 2 projects I was missing that I couldn't show, but that's okay. So I hope everyone continues to enjoy their January and is enjoying the new year and the coming back of the light. One of my students was reminding me that the days are now longer, which is really, really nice. We're getting a little bit more sunlight each day, which is really, really great. And I'm really looking forward to that. I hope everyone is getting some time to craft and enjoy doing what they love. And I will see you all next time. Stay warm if you're in those really, really cold areas like me. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.